Hi, Cinnabunny here, and I want to talk about my fursuit maker, Faris Batwan, who is the creator behind Fbsuits or Fuzzy Bat Fursuits. And I didn't want to do this. I had a negative experience with her where her communication was really poor. There were a lot of times where she was using excuses with me and saying that the weather had caused, her messenger not to work. And in order to get her to speak to me, actually ended up having to open a PayPal dispute to finally get a response from her and finally get her moving so that I could make my suit. And in the end, I ended up getting my suit late and it didn't even fit me. But even after that experience, it was my first suit, it was my first time ever ordering something from a fursuit maker. And I wanted to just let it go and leave it behind me. But I've been hearing more and more people having issues with the same maker. And they're all telling me similar things, that she's they're having a hard time getting her to communicate with them, that they're sending messages, that she'll tell them, oh, my messenger isn't working, send me an email, so people will start emailing her, and then she says, oh, my email is not working, try sending me through Telegram. And it's like, you have to chase her to get her to actually do any work, and getting her to send work in progress pictures is so difficult. Even to the point where she will say that she's completed a suit and she just has to get you pictures, and months will go by where she keeps giving you excuses as to why she can't give you pictures of a supposedly completed suit. And it's just unreasonable to expect your clients to chase you, to get you to do any work. So today I am going to talk about my own personal experience, like what I went through trying to get a suit from her. And I'm going to show screen caps. I have evidence of everything that I'm going to talk about. And then later I'm actually going to talk about other people's experiences and how they're similar to mine, to show that this is not just a one-time event. It wasn't just like she was going through a small period of time where she wasn't accomplishing things, but this is an actual ongoing pattern of behavior that she is not changing, she is not working on as she says she is. And it's to the point where she's actually lying to customers. Through my groups, we have caught her in lies, telling people, oh, I'm going to mail your suit, and here's your tracking number. And they check the tracking number and the suit gets delivered to a different country. And then she tries using the excuse of, well, they must have mailed it to the wrong place. Except for the fact that she says this multiple times. So when she gives a tracking number, she's actually giving a tracking number for someone else's suit that she sent, just to shut you up for a little while so that you'll stop bothering her. And meanwhile, she probably hasn't even completed your suit. I'm going to get to all that a little bit later. As you'll see, I actually kind of got off easy because I opened a dispute with her like as soon as I was suspicious. I actually got her to complete a suit, because there are still people who have been waiting for years and years on supposedly completed suits that they are not getting pictures of. So I'm going to start with my own experience. Back in October of 2017, I actually put up a post, which I think was on the Facebook furry page, that I wanted to get a bodysuit of my character and that I was going to try to make the head myself. And Faris responded to my post, and it's interesting that she actually used her personal account. She didn't try to get in touch with me through her business account. She used her personal account, and that's what most of our conversation was through. So this was just before Halloween, And she actually told me that I was first in her queue, that her bodysuit queue was clear, so that she'd be working on me first. So there shouldn't be any excuse, like her having to work on other suits first. I was told that I was the first one in her queue. And I was really careful. You know, I checked for bewares on her, and I actually didn't find any other bewares at the time. And I didn't find out till later that's because, you know, a lot of people are afraid to write bewares on her because they're afraid that she'll just stop talking to them altogether. But anyways, we talked back and forth. You know, we settled on a price. I sent her my reference, and almost right away was the first hint that her communication was terrible. I'd been speaking to her, but after I sent my reference, I suddenly wasn't getting any more replies from her. Like, the conversation just halted. So I waited 2 days, and I messaged her again, and then she did reply, and she said, oh, storms were causing her internet to be shaky. And that's the word she used, shaky, whatever that means. But I just kind of took it to be true. I had no reason to doubt her, and 2 days really wasn't a long time anyways, so I didn't think that she had any reason to give me an excuse. She agreed to do my bodysuit, which has attached wings and detached feet. And I made my first payment to her November 15th, and then on the 16th I mailed my duct tape dummy. And then pretty quickly on the 23rd, she messaged me. She said she received my dummy and the tracing of my hands. And then I sent her a few more messages, but again, I didn't get any response. No big deal. I messaged her to tell me when she ordered the fur, though, so that I could order the same colors, and I was going to try to work on my head myself. It would be the first fursuit head I ever worked on. So she finally answered me, and she said that because of blizzards in her area, her messenger was not loading new messages, which I thought was strange, but I didn't question it. And we kept talking. She told me that she got the fur and that she'd link them that evening, but then she just kind of stopped responding again, and she never linked the fur. So I just completely left her alone for Christmas. I figured that she was busy, and I didn't message her again until January, again asking about the link to the furs. So she did finally respond, and she sent me the link for the furs so that I could buy the same colors. But she asked me if I had sent her my duct tape dummy, and I found this to be really strange and kind of concerning, and I was like, yeah, I sent it. I didn't really express, my concern that she had already got my duct tape dummy. She'd already acknowledged that she got it, and now she was having to ask me if I'd sent it. So I was pretty worried that she had lost it, actually. And then on January 17th, I asked her if it was possible to get my suit and my feet by March 16th so that I could wear my suit to my first ever fursuit convention, which was the Fernal Equinox. And I knew that it would probably be a long shot because it was only a few months away, and I know it takes a long time to make a suit. But she told me that that would be absolutely no problem. As long as I had paid it off, I'd be able to get it by that date. So I was really excited, and I actually went, and the same day I made another payment so that my suit was completely paid off. That way she'd be able to work on it and get it done and get it to me in time. On February 5th, I asked for a work in progress since my con was coming up quickly, and I also live in Canada and she lives in the States, and I was nervous that customs would end up holding onto my suit for a long time. So I wanted to make sure that she was getting close to being finished. I was hoping that she'd maybe be finished for the beginning of March, and then she could ship it to me and it would have a good 2 weeks to get to me. it was around this time that someone posted on Furry saying that they were having trouble with a maker who lives in the same city as Faris. And I thought that it was really unlikely, but I decided to reach out to this person because the problems they were describing sounded like the communication problems that I was having with Faris. And it actually turns out that it was Faris, and this person, who I'm friends with now, had been waiting for a suit for a very long time, had not received much as far as work in progress. She had long gaps between communication where Faris didn't respond to her, and she had ordered a full suit, but she had only ever seen pictures of the head, paws, and tail. And Faris had actually told her that the suit was completed over a year prior. And to this day, this person has still not seen pictures of the completed bodysuit. And Faris keeps telling her, I'm going to get you pictures. I need a model. But she could just take a pic. It doesn't have to be a professional photo. She could just take a picture with her phone of the bodysuit to just prove that it exists. And it was also when I first started talking to my friend, it was around the same time that I did another search, and I did manage to find one Beware on Faris, which was talking about the same things: communication issues, long gaps of time between communications. So at this point, I was really suspicious. On February 15th, I still hadn't heard anything from her as far as any sort of work in progress, so I sent her an email. No response. On the 21st, I hadn't heard anything from her, so I sent her another email. No response. And I finally opened a PayPal dispute on the 24th. And at this point, I was done. I wasn't going to put up with this any longer. It was February 24th. It was really close to when my con was, and I hadn't had any work in progress photos to show that she had even started. So after I opened the dispute, very quickly, Faris responds to me through both email and Facebook Messenger, saying that she's very upset, saying that my suit is halfway done and it would be finished on time, and that I had caused her PayPal to be locked, preventing her from doing anything. But I was also really frustrated that she, in all this time, hadn't had time to message me or send me an email until I opened a suit, and then suddenly, immediately, she's responding to me. She even threatened to write a beware on me, actually, for my behavior. And she was trying to guilt me, basically, into thinking that I had done something wrong so that I would back down. But I wasn't going to back down at this point. And I told her that I was suspicious because of this other person I talked to, and because I had found a beware on her. And her response was, well, I would have explained the beware if you had asked me about it. But how was I supposed to ask her about it when she wasn't responding to me? So she was just being ridiculous. But I didn't really call her out on that. I was still trying to be completely polite and courteous during all of this, despite the fact that I was really furious. And Faris told me that she was like 2 days away from finishing. She said all the pieces are cut out, I just have to sew it up. And she said that she would show me pictures of the front of the suit in one day. And surprise, she didn't. And during this exchange with Faris, I started talking to even more unhappy customers of hers. And one of them actually showed me messages from Faris, who had a very angry tone in the messages, claiming that I was rude to her and blaming this other person, saying, oh, you posted your dissatisfaction on Facebook, that's why Cinnabunny opened a dispute, and that's why she was rude to me. And that's not true at all. She wasn't taking responsibility for the fact that she just stopped responding to me, and that's why I opened a dispute. And it's not this other person's fault who's posting about how unsatisfied they are with her when they're just telling the truth, and they have every right to talk about their experiences with her. So I actually thought that she was kind of taking me seriously at this point, due to my dispute, because she had actually finally started talking to me again. But it got worse. She claimed she ran out of green fur for my suit. And at this point, she still had not given me any work in progress. And now, supposedly, she was out of fur. She said half of the green fur she originally bought was all crimped up, and that she tried to straighten it, and she couldn't. And even if this was true, which I doubt, why didn't she open up the package of fur sooner and try to straighten it out? Why would she wait until the last minute when it's like the day before she's supposed to send me work in progress photos, and now she can't keep working on my suit? So she had to order more. She said that she would get it by Monday, which was March 5th. She said she'd get it by then at the latest. She also claimed that she'd never had a PayPal dispute before opened against her, which is not true. So over the next few days, I was just kind of poking her, and then finally by March 6th, she said she got the fur. And then March 8th, which was like 2 days after she said that she'd be able to ship it, I got my very first work in progress photos. So just a week before my convention, I'm getting my very first photos. And at this point, like, there's no time for me to approve of them or not. I just had to stick with what she was showing me, because there wouldn't be time for her to redo anything. So she claimed that I had sent her a duct tape dummy where I was not raising my arms in the suit. So she said due to that I wouldn't be able to raise my arms in the suit. But when I worked on the duct tape dummy, I did have my arms up. So I think that because this was the first time she ever made a suit with attached arm wings, that maybe she just didn't know what she was doing. But rather than say, like, sorry, I tried, you're not going to be able to raise your arms very high in suit, she had to somehow make it seem like my fault and tell me that I hadn't raised my arms when I was making my duct tape dummy, which isn't even true. So she can't even take responsibility for mistakes. And it wasn't accurate. It's not accurate to my reference. My feet, which I've got here, were supposed to have purple toes, and instead they're just all green. And my wings are purple, which I'll show in a minute. And I had told her that I wanted 4 fingers on the hands and no claws, and she made my wings with 5 fingers and claws. And I just kind of let it all go because it was so close to my convention. There's no way she'd be able to fix everything in time, and I really wanted to get my suit. So I actually manually closed my dispute, and Faris told me on the 14th that she was going out to ship my suit. But since it was the evening, they wouldn't record it until the next day. So March 15th, I asked her if she shipped it. She says that she did, but she's at work, so she can't send me a picture of the receipt until after 8. I'm immediately suspicious that she didn't already send me a picture of the receipt, so I kind of just assumed, yeah, she hasn't even sent it yet. But I don't say anything. I was told that I would receive it March 17th before 12, which was the day of the convention. So we were leaving it to the absolute last minute that I was supposed to get my suit and then immediately go to my con. And then I found out that she was also lying about the shipping, because when she finally did send the shipping that evening after she supposedly got off work, the tracking number showed the post office didn't register the suit as arriving until the 16th, which is the Friday. So this indicates the package was delivered on Thursday evening, past the time when they closed, and they didn't register it until the next day, Friday morning. So of course I didn't get my suit on time. I was still holding out for hope, you know. that somehow I'd get it with the 1-day shipping. And Friday, I waited and waited for well past noon for a suit that never arrived. And then I was really upset. I actually had to convince myself to still go to my con and to not let this ruin it for me. But I was really disappointed. This was my first ever convention. I'd saved up for this suit working a job that I hated, and I was basically heartbroken. So this is my suit. It is fully zipped up right now, and it shows a lot of my shirt, and as you can see, it doesn't go over my shoulders. It's like it was made for a much shorter person. Like, I actually had my mom try my suit on, and she is 5 feet tall and about 135 pounds. And my suit actually fits her better than it does me. It actually goes up over her shoulders. And just for comparison, like, I am 5'5" and 120 to 125 pounds. And that's the same amount that I weighed when I sent my duct tape down to Faris. So this suit actually fits a person shorter and heavier than me much better. It fits better on a person who is a full 5 inches shorter than me. Like, I don't understand how someone... See, it's already starting to slide down. I don't understand how someone could make that mistake working with my duct tape dummy. So the fact that it doesn't fit me, and also combined with the fact that, you know, she had to double check with me that I even sent my duct tape dummy, makes me think that she just lost my duct tape dummy. So she either, you know, she used someone else's or she used herself as a model. So unfortunately, my first experience ordering a fursuit was a really negative one. I sent messages that were left on read and got no reply. I had to try to contact her through multiple platforms. I ended up getting my suit late despite her promising that she was almost finished, and it doesn't even fit me. But despite all of that, I actually got off lucky, because my friend, who never got pictures of her full suit all the way back when I was ordering mine, all the way back when I was first having problems with Faris, that friend still has never seen pictures of her full suit, which is supposedly completed. And even with pre-mades, Faris will sell someone a pre-made, and then months and months go by and she won't ship it. And she occasionally messages them, but she goes long periods of time between each message. And when she finally does get back to someone, it's just more excuses as to why she can't send work in progress photos, or why she can't ship something yet, or, oh, I'm sorry, it's lost in shipping. And it just goes on and on. She just continues with these lies. I truly believe that if I did not open a dispute when I did, that I would still be waiting for this suit to this day. I just feel really bad for all of the people who are still waiting for suits and refunds from her. They are afraid that if they make bewares on her, that she'll just stop talking to them altogether, because it's so hard to get a hold of her at all, that they're so happy when she sends them a message, even when it's more excuses. No one deserves to be treated like that. So I am going to do a part 2 of this. I'm going to go through other people's experiences, at least all the ones who are comfortable with me sharing information and aren't still trying to be secretive because they're afraid of her ceasing communication altogether. So I'm going to be doing a part 2 of this, where I share some of the experiences of the people from my Faris Beware groups and look at how their experiences compare to my own, to show that this is an actual pattern of behavior with her, that this is still ongoing and she is still scamming people. And hopefully this will get the word out there. People will start avoiding her business and no one else will get scammed. So until next time.